This is Telltale Guys, Episode 5 Human Senses You Didn't Know About.
What's your ETA? We'll be there in 2 minutes. Come on, we have lives to save here.
All right, welcome back to Telltale Guys. I'm Josh, and with me I got my man Zane.
How's it going, guys?
Ready to bring you some hot topics today. Zane, I'm loving the shirt.
Thank
Very
you.
vivid.
We are going to go into a topic that involves colors, and especially the color pink. And so I'll just leave you with that nice little tempting nugget right there.
Tempting nugget pink. Yeah, real men wear pink, and obviously I'm not. I like gray, so I guess I'm not a real man for this episode.
You like your darker colors, but that's fine.
Yeah, it goes with my mood, you know.
Yeah.
So what you got going on today, Zane? Anything fun?
No, I'm supposed to have the day off, but I've been working a lot today. So
yes.
My company has the Juneteenth holiday off, and was looking forward to it, but working in communications is nearly 24/7. So womp womp.
I hear that Zane and I kind of do similar type of jobs, so we're always on call on weird days and hours and stuff. So that's fun.
Yeah.
But tell everyone what we got going on today, Zane. What's our hotness?
Yeah, sure. So I want to talk about human senses that perhaps not everyone is aware of. Obviously, we got our 5. Let's see. We got sight. We got hearing. Then we got touch. So that's 3. Then I said
Smell?
touch. Smell.
Yeah.
Right there. Got a big nose, so I can smell a lot of. Actually, I can't smell. I have a deviated septum, so it's not good.
I can smell.
And then let's see.
Taste is
taste.
Yes.
I don't know our senses apparently. So
yeah, all of them are unknown for you, Zane.
Yeah.
He's still learning his body.
Right. I maybe feel masculine with my pink shirt on, but I don't know how my body operates.
Like a baby.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the reason why I kind of wanted to explore that. Is I was thinking about our 5th episode today, and then I was thinking about the number 5, and I was like, 5 senses. And I thought about what other weird senses do we have? You know, obviously a lot of people think about more of the supernatural type senses like telekinetic abilities where you can move things with your mind. Which actually I didn't find a lot of information on it besides kind of our subcultural fun stuff like with books and movies and TV
11.
shows. 11 from Stranger Things. But so I found kind of more things that are grounded in known science, I guess. So it was nothing too crazy like the movies, but it is pretty interesting.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with, we got smell and sight. A lot of it's with smell. So, well, we can jump right into it. Well, I guess first of all, before we go into it, for our 5 established senses that I don't know about, which sense could you not live without?
Oh, geez. If I had to pick one and all my other ones are gone?
Out of the 5. The established ones.
I mean, I'm a very visual person, so I think I'd like to be able to see if I had to only keep one sense. But you know what? I think touch is very underrated too, because it's so you don't think about it that much. But how weird would it be walking through a world not being able to feel anything?
Yeah,
that would be odd. So
especially if you already knew the sensation.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you? I don't know.
I think I definitely want to keep vision, especially after having vision. But also I know, and it's this kind of, when we go into smell here, it kind of deals with subconscious senses that we have with smell. But I think that's another underrated one because you think about the very vivid smells that you can sense. But what about when you think about tasting, a lot of tasting is connected with smell. Foods will taste better with the sense of smell that's combined with that.
Yeah, like when you have a cold, things don't taste the same because your nose isn't working properly,
Right.
right?
And there's some people who, are either born without the sense of smell or had some sort of incident, I guess, and they just can't smell anymore. And I feel like that would be kind of a bummer in a way. Um, I've always had this idea in my head that I would like to know what the sense of smell is like a dog's sense of smell for 5 minutes, just to
Okay.
see, because that is supposed to be very intense. Maybe not, they don't know it's intense, but like that would be intense for us.
It's like orgasmic to them almost.
Yeah, right. And
Nosegasmic.
nosegasmic. And never thought I would hear that word.
No. Well, yeah.
But like they don't seem to be bothered by bad smells. It's just smells in general is just information to them, and it just gets them excited. And
Oh, yeah.
that would be cool to kind of like feel that for 5 minutes though. 5 minutes. I don't think it'd probably be too much for us to like really deal with. It would be insane. So
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
the more pungent the smell for dogs, the more they're into it, even if it's disgusting, like
Yep.
poo and stuff. I know my dogs are very keen on dead, rotting squirrels on the side of the road and anything else that smells funky, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, they want to roll around in it too, and I guess it kind of helps them establish their musk or their territory. It's interesting. And my brother-in-law, he has chickens, and his dog likes to eat all the chicken poop, and that apparently
Sure.
gives his dog extremely bad breath.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah, but
Well, I guess from a safety standpoint too, your sense of smell is like you don't think about like how much danger it alerts you to. Like, for instance, like walking by a dead body, or if you were in the wild and drinking water and there's like a dead animal, in the water, you'd smell it and then stay away from it. But if you drink it, then you're sick, or gas leaks or something like that. Like you need your sense of smell. Really, you need all your senses.
yeah, they're nice to have.
But maybe what are some senses that that we don't know about that we would like to have?
Well, so speaking of smelling, possible danger, we'll go into
Mhm.
this first topic here. So there is a sense that is not as well known, but we can possibly smell people's personalities and their
Mm.
emotions. So, in a perfect world, we would want to have all the time in the world to get to know someone, to judge someone, but we're a fast-paced society. There's not a lot of time to get to know some people. But what if there's a subconscious way where we kind of figure out, okay, I don't know about this person that much. So it goes along with this biological tool that we have, which is smell. And so there's this idea that maybe the sense of smell can root out people's personalities and emotions, like I said. And so there was this study that had participants, and this is from crack.com.
Mhm.
A study had participants wear the same shirt for 3 nights without using any deodorant or bathing.
Been there.
Another, yeah, well,
Yeah.
you were in the Marines, you
Yeah.
were probably
Longer than that.
smelled quite ripe. And so they had another group that smelled the shirts of these participants, and they guessed the wearer's dominant personality traits, such as, well, if there was a dominant personality, maybe a neurotic side to a participant, or if they were extroverted.
Hmm.
So it turned out the people who were smelling, their accuracy was as high as when they were like just watching these people acting out these particular personalities. If they were acting confident, or if they were nervous, or if they were just like really talkative.
Huh.
So it was just interesting that they can kind of guess. So that was an interesting study. And so it gives the idea that body odor can reveal personality traits, maybe almost effectively as visual cues or speech, and back to visual cues, mannerisms. So it's very interesting. It also brings up this kind of concerning futuristic thing. If maybe this science could be tapped into individual smells, they could be unique, like fingerprints, like your individual musk, Josh, your manly musk.
Yes.
Maybe it's really just it's your own individual one. And what if people can harness that to ID you. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know how far that's gone, studies, or if governments use that. I've never heard that before, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I think my personal scent would be sarcasm and bull moose.
Bull moose.
Yeah, bull moose and sarcasm. That's my scent.
Mine would be stress because I'm always worried about the Braves.
Mm.
And a peak of excitement for when I see like an IPA I can have. So I don't
Okay.
know. It's like a mix between stress and just overall nice positive. So it's kind of fluctuates.
Did they mention in the study what these scents smelled like to people? Because like that's kind of like I wouldn't know if I smelled a shirt what like a neurotic person would smell like. Did they mention any of that?
Not necessarily that. I mean, this kind of goes into this next part of this topic.
Hmm.
People who are exposed to fear sweat. So if you got participants who are watching in a study watching like a horror movie,
Uh-huh.
the people who were watching the horror movie and they were sweating into their clothes, they were more likely to perceive neutral faces. Like let's say they watch a horror movie, they're sweating, they could see like other guests who are fearful, and if they had like a neutral face, they can guess which one was scared. So there's like a connection. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah, I guess it would be like I don't know what that would smell like, but I guess it's just kind of ingrained, and you don't really know, like
Mhm.
isn't it like you don't really like pheromone type of things, right? Like
Right.
you don't you sense them and pick them up kind of subconsciously, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Didn't really give me an answer of what the smells were like. I'm assuming for the ones that are particularly intense, like fear or some sort of excitement, it's probably a little bit more pungent. Maybe maybe you're sweating and
Hmm.
there's more salts in it, or
Ah,
you have all sorts of different chemicals that are flooding your system when you're scared or happy or whatnot, whatever like spectrum that's really intense. So I'm sure it's just some sort of intense smell. Maybe you don't really smell it, but subconsciously you're like, oh, I feel like this is attributed to someone who is really scared. So
okay. Maybe
yeah.
it's like when you poo your pants because you're so scared. That's what
Mhm.
they're picking up on.
It's possible. Yeah, they smell the poop pants,
Yeah,
and
similar chemicals maybe that you excrete. I don't
they're
know.
like, this smells like poo, but I have an undertone of fear sweat. So there's a lot of layers going on in this
So
scent.
bit of nuttiness to this
Bit
scent.
bit of nuttiness. Um, so yeah, that's that. So that's kind of with uh smelling personalities, emotions. It's kind of I wish I could answer that question, like if they were smelling, if certain things smelled similar for like fear sweat, but
Yeah.
I think it goes back to it's like almost kind of like a subconscious thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like how people would pick up and describe that. That'd be an interesting experiment to try yourself, maybe. Like I don't know, smell your wife's shirt or something and try to guess what mood she was in at the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to have a whole experiment type going on that. So
Yeah.
she doesn't watch horror movies at all, so I wouldn't be able to get something like that. Um, let's
Maybe
see.
that's why some politicians smell people's hair to see if they're scared or something.
Certain
Yeah.
politicians might be just kind of into kids. Anyways, next
Yeah.
topic. Um, so also just made me think like I could get excitement smell maybe from Isabel if I tell we're going to anthropology or something like that. We can do
Ah,
that. That's
that
an experiment.
that she likes anthropology or
Well, it's a clothing store.
oh, I
Yeah,
thought you were like the scientific study field. I was like, she into that? That's a weird thing to get
yeah.
excited about, but okay, clothing makes sense. Yeah.
She is not. She's gonna listen to this like this is weird. Um, well, let's shift from smells to
Mhm.
colors.
Okay.
Bring in this hot topic of a shirt. So some of us can see impossible colors.
Mhm.
So, Josh,
Yeah.
can you, in your head, can you visualize a new color that you've never seen? You work with colors a lot. You're an artist. Can you,
Yes.
can you like even remotely describe maybe a new color?
It's hard to try to describe that to somebody. Yeah, I don't know. How would you do that?
It's hard because we feel like most of us feel like we've seen kind of the full spectrum.
Yeah.
But obviously there's different type of colors that are beyond our ability to perceive visually for most of us. Um, so, but scientists have kind of found, oh, and I forgot to do my fun little sense deck here. I got really into it, but we'll just,
Yeah. So where's the slide saying? I know some people, maybe you'll get into this, have like an extra like color receptor or something in their
there it
eyeball.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we're going into that. This is just a cool photo I found of like
Okay.
smelling flowers. So very on point there to forget that.
It's a lot of
But
nose hair on that one.
I think so. This is a woman. I think that's just her hair. It's just they had to zoom in for the PDF or for
Okay. I
PowerPoint.
guess.
So, but really doesn't pertain too much because she's not smelling emotions; she's smelling flowers. But I thought it was
Mm.
cool, and I was
Yeah.
excited. I was excited about this topic because there are a lot of cool visuals with that.
I could smell your excitement.
Oh, what's it smell like?
Smells like bananas.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. Um, but scientists have, and we'll see if this works for you. And I've tried it myself, and it's kind of hard.
Mhm.
But scientists have tried to do an experiment where, with these boxes here, blue and
Ah,
yellow,
yes.
if you cross your eyes or try to make them crossed,
I have
like,
done one of these before. Yes.
can you see like some sort of like different? My eyes probably look crazy on video here. The bluish
Yeah.
green, like a bluish
Yes.
green color.
Yeah, you gotta kinda,
Oh,
like, lean in a little bit more to the screen. So
people are
I'm
gonna
doing
have to see this on YouTube.
yeah.
Um,
But, yeah,
I can't
when you
really.
do it, you can kinda see oh, yeah, you gotta get the, crosses lined up, right? So,
Oh yeah, I see it for a second. It's like a
yeah.
flash of a
Yep, there it is. It's almost like a
blue green.
tealish blue-green, yeah. But oh, man, it messed my eyes.
Yeah,
Ow, my eyes!
now you're blind.
Yeah,
But
keep it up
yeah,
like that for a second. Yeah, because when you cross your eyes, you got to kind of like force the two crosses together to
okay.
get the sensation right.
It's
So
really hard for me.
yeah, so yeah, that's like a color that's hard to describe to people. Um, but it's a cool, yeah, that's a cool experiment. Now my eyes are all blurry.
Yeah. It sounds like you can kind of do it better than me. I feel like I
Yeah,
could see it for a second, but it's like a greenish, bluish color.
yeah,
Um, and so normally when we see blue, like on this right side, the parts of our eyes that detect yellow turn off, and vice versa. But by using specific composite patterns, kind of like this, we can trick our eyes into seeing new colors that don't exist in the rainbow spectrum. Um, and so the reason why I brought up the shirt, I found this shirt is pink is not part of the rainbow spectrum. Obviously, it's kind of like a mix, like red, white, I guess. But
mhm,
you don't. It's kind of strange that we can kind of see this color, to be honest, with our specific like cones in our eyes.
yeah.
So this is kind of a one-off. You may not have known that. Like pink is actually something we. It's a totally different color that we should not be seeing. I don't know.
Is it like that shirt? Like we see it as that shade of pink or whatever, but when you're looking at it, it's not really that color. It's just our cones can only interpret it as that color. Is that what it is?
I think so. That
Yeah,
sounds right. Sounded
because that
scientific.
yeah. When the cones and rods in your eyes are,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean that's a cool experiment. And yeah, I've done these before. Did you have other ones like this? Because I think they have some other colors too, right?
No, but
No, okay.
we do have something. So you kind of touched on it earlier. Um, basically there are some rare people that can see more colors, and they're called tetrachromats. and
Mhm.
they have 4 color detecting cones in their eyes instead of 3, which normal people, the most amount of people have 3. And this allows them to see up to 100 million colors compared to the million colors that we can see. So, like, here's an example. Um, this visual is a little bit blurry because it was smaller on this like contact stores site, but this is like the best visual I can find. But so we are tetrachromatic,
Trichromatic.
trichromatic. So you can see like the colors here seem a little more dull.
Yeah.
People who are tetrachromatic, it's not like they're necessarily seeing more colors. I guess they are, but it seems more vibrant. There's
Like
more
more
pop.
hues.
Yeah. So if you ever think about it, and Josh, you do this a lot with Photoshop and
Mhm.
Illustrator, how you can make all sorts of crazy colors
Yeah.
basically by sliding the bars one way or another. So imagine like that. Like I think these people, they're just seeing more vibrancy, which is pretty
So
interesting.
on the right-hand side, if we're looking at it and it's saying, it's tetrachromatic, that doesn't mean I'm tetrachromatic because I can see it more vividly. That's just kind of a representation to give people an example of what they might see versus us, because we're
Exactly.
both seeing it kind of more
Right.
different, right?
Exactly. It's
Okay.
kind of like if
I thought
you,
I was a superhuman for a moment.
I don't think so. So I think this is more so like if you had some glasses on and you
Mhm.
put them on, all of a sudden you're able to see a lot more kind of cool visuals or bright colors or colors that kind of blend in more. And like the blend kind of makes different colors that maybe you're not used to seeing. That's what I
Yeah.
took from it. So, um, so that's vision.
Wait, have you ever heard
Yeah.
the theory while you're on Vision, Zane,
Mhm.
about the color blue and how they think that maybe people couldn't really see the color blue until like I don't know, like 2000 years ago or something like that?
No, I've never heard this theory.
Yeah, it has to do with like a lot of like old literature and maybe even small like paintings and stuff when people would paint the ocean. It doesn't really they don't describe it as blue or showing up as blue in their paintings. It's more like a greenish color.
Hmm.
So they think that people didn't really have like the right rods and cones in their eyes to see blue, and now it's like a relatively new um adaptation, I guess, for people to kind of see it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like a good story, anyways. But I would imagine people can see blue. They just didn't really describe it as such because they didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, this was
just a
like
story.
this was like 1,000 years ago.
I think like 2,000 years ago they say, because like when they hear like old Greek texts and stuff of them describing the ocean or something like that, they don't describe it as blue. They describe it as like kind of like I guess like a wineish color maybe or something like that. It's just I don't know. Maybe the ocean
Interesting.
was just a different color for them back then. I don't know.
Or, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe, or especially for painting, maybe they didn't necessarily have like the right colors to get that blue across. But that is interesting if in literature, if they're not mentioning
yeah.
blue.
But it could be like, the orange, like the color orange. Like people didn't really describe orange as orange back in the day. They described it as like yellow, red, or something like that. So
Huh.
they didn't really just have the word for it. So to them, they just called it a shade of yellow or red or something. Yeah, maybe the
Interesting.
same thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
All art stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Speaking of, there's a nice little yellow orange with those tulips in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, speaking of flowers, you got to make sure you always give flowers to your ladies. So we're gonna go in this next topic.
Hopefully
Um,
Evelyn's not listening to this.
um,
She loves flowers. I
so
hate them.
Josh and I are very knowledgeable about this topic, but so here we go. Ovulating women can sense
Oh.
snakes around them. So flowers
I
always,
what?
especially so especially during this time of high stress, provide flowers. Um, but
Is
but off,
this snakes, Zane, or real snakes?
Well, it could be real snakes or any type of predatory animal.
Okay.
Also, during this period, women experience ovulation. They could, possibly kind of sense out, homosexual men compared to heterosexual men. So I'll go into this.
Okay. I'm like,
So,
whoa, these
yeah,
are some heavy claims, Zane.
I think this heavy claims. Obviously, I'm not trying to be ignorant or anything, but
Yeah.
um, I think this kind of goes down into like the subconscious level of smell that people
Okay.
don't really think about. So obviously, women, experience, fluctuations physically, mentally due to their menstrual cycle, but
I haven't
apparently
noticed.
also it enhances certain abilities. Research has shown that women in their most fertile phase are quicker at spotting hidden snakes, according to this study. And I'm thinking this probably goes into more like predatory animals as well. Um, it is like likely an evolutionary adaptation for detecting danger. Um, and additionally, during the menstrual cycle, women inhabit like a heightened sense to identify gay men, simply by looking at their faces. This ability,
Okay.
I, so this ability peaks during their fertile period and diminishes until the next cycle, suggesting an evolutionary advantage for women in selecting suitable partners for reproduction. Um,
And this is
so,
a study from a credible science thing you found?
this is an article I
Okay.
found. So,
Okay. Well, it
um,
makes sense. Yeah, I guess, that's
we'll have in
interesting.
the show notes. There are definitely links
Okay. Yeah.
within these articles that hopefully go to reputable sites. So, um, but so interesting claims, but I don't know. It doesn't sound too outrageous to me. I think it all stems to, yeah, during these phases, a lot of different chemicals and reactions are going on, and I think there could be maybe like a smell sense factor, a subconscious factor. Things are heightened during this period, so it doesn't surprise me at all. But interesting, according to this article, this phenomenon doesn't apply to detecting lesbians. So this really kind of leans more so to a specific adaptation function related to heterosexual relationships.
For reproduction, I guess that would make sense. Yeah.
Right.
But
So,
that's weird that the snake thing. I mean, I guess because it's like they wouldn't want to be in put themselves in danger when they're the most fertile.
mhm.
So, and maybe I don't know if they've done studies on this, but maybe are snakes more attracted to ovulating women? Like if they're out and about, it's like because I know like sharks can like sense, stuff. So but like can snakes they're like, hey, here's some ovulation going on over
Mhm.
here. So and the women are like, oh, I'm more attuned to you, snake. Get away. Or they're out
Maybe.
foraging. I don't know. It seems. I mean, it may make sense.
Right, right. I think there's truth, a little bit of truth in each of those things.
Mm.
I definitely thought of that too. Just maybe at that time, women are more have a sense, heightened senses, just to keep safe. Um,
I have never heard of that, and that's very interesting. That's good uncovering of that, Zane.
Thanks. I did tread carefully on that topic. But now I can tread a little bit more carefully, kind
Okay.
of. Men can sense ovulation. So, on a
Hmm.
related topic, um, researchers investigated whether men can detect when women are more fertile. And it turns out men, can sense ovulation through subtle changes in a woman's voice, scent, skin tone, leading them to subconsciously alter their behavior. So, in a study of 123 male participants paired with 5 women at different stages of their menstrual cycle, men were asked to describe scenarios after hearing the women do so. Okay, I summarized that weirdly. When women were less fertile, men often copied the women's descriptions. However, during ovulation, men put out more effort into their responses, trying to impress the women. So I guess it's saying, you know, when men in these scenarios sense ovulation, they kind of tried more at whatever they were doing.
Well,
They
yeah,
weren't just like, being standard idiot guy. They were kind of like,
more
trying,
engaged, kind of.
yeah,
Yeah,
more engaged. Yeah.
okay, that would make sense because you're ovulating, so you're trying to be fertile. So maybe
Mhm.
like you're throwing out more signals, like, "Hey, I don't know, maybe what like their voices are more welcoming or something like that,
Mhm.
and like men pick up subtly on like, oh, she's very more welcoming to me, so let me just act more interested because that'll give me more of a shot type thing.
Gives a bit more confidence, maybe. I don't know. There's just a lot of subconscious factors that happen that we are just not aware of, and it just biological and evolution um, wins, I guess, for us. It just helps
Mhm.
us operate better as a species.
I
Um,
figured like those type of things, I obviously great.
oh, well, I thought
Yeah, I was just
lots of.
barking with your dog.
Oh, oh, okay. Speaking of
I guess
evolution, they have good sense of smell, like we said earlier.
yeah, obviously. So yeah, I guess I was saying was with how society is set up now, like those things aren't really that advantageous, I guess, because it'll get you into trouble, with HR or whatever.
Hmm.
So it's interesting that all those things kind of have evolved to help people, but now I guess are more of a hindrance in
Right.
day-to-day interactions. But
And our species is so successful now and growing so quickly, like it's not as necessary now, but it still happens.
mhm.
We're just not aware of it. Probably back in our caveman days, or maybe a little bit after. Maybe it wasn't even necessarily a subconscious thing. Excuse me. We can kind of like sense these things more via smell or visuals, touch, what have you. But now it's just like, "Hmm, you're on Tinder, you're on Grinder.
Swipe.
Let's go." So
I wonder if like you took people out of the office setting in modern society and put them just like, on Amish town or something like that, that they would be more aware of picking up on these things. Like, it's like, oh, it's Susie's ovulating this week or something. It's like
mhm.
you think you would get to a point where you would know that if you're taken out of society without the external stimuli and stuff like that, and you can get more attuned with nature and how your body works and interact with other people.
Maybe not necessarily on the subconscious level, but you probably notice visually, and
Yeah.
then maybe the way Susie's interacting with Sarah, just be like, something's up, and you know, yeah, I think it'd be more visual for us, but I think over a period of time, we could pick up on other cues as well.
Mm,
Um, that would be interesting to kind of like test, especially for the more obvious ones, like if voices are heightened or something like that.
mhm.
Um,
Their
uh,
hair is shinier
mhm.
or something. I don't know.
Or right, when guys, this is another type of thing that happens when they are trying to oppress women, or just any sex that they're attracted to, like their voices will get higher. Like they're not like "Grr," but like they're trying to kind of
Be less threatening.
be less threatening. So
Yeah.
um, yeah. Um, so those two trippy topics that I somehow navigated through.
Good job.
But thank you.
No
Uh,
landmine stepped on.
I don't think so. But someone could probably find some. Anyways, your eyes can see even after you go blind. So just kind of a cool visual here. Where'd my visuals go? Oh yeah. Pop. I just thought this was kind of interesting. I
Okay.
feel like, and obviously some people are the very, very definition of blind and probably see like blackness, but I wonder like how many, it made me think, I wonder how many people who are blind, if like it's more of a vision like this where it's really hard to see but you still have some sort of sight. But
So this is it's a picture. It looks like it's like a person, and it's just kind of like almost like ghostly, just blurred and
mhm,
swirled around in the picture.
yeah, maybe the idea is like this person is moving too. So
Okay.
um but I don't know, really just an interesting visual. But in this topic, researchers have discovered a phenomenon called blind sight, where some blind people can perceive their surroundings despite not being able to see. But you kind of hear about this, especially people who have been blind for a very long time. They can navigate it really well. They've obviously other side senses have picked up, have heightened. But I wonder if this has something to do with it as well.
It's
And
like
one,
sonar seeing, like
it's almost like
Daredevil.
it's almost like Daredevil. Yeah, they mentioned that in the article.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily, but in one study, an elderly blind man navigated a maze successfully as his retina bypassed his damaged visual cortex to send information to his brain. And so I guess they're monitoring his brain, the waves, and all that. And they saw him moving around, but they saw a lot of activity in his brain, similar with like the visual cortex. So obviously things are kind of working in some different way. And in another study, blind participants could identify emotions in faces they couldn't see, suggesting their brains process the visual information in alternative ways. This occurs because for many blind individuals, the issue lies in the visual cortex, not necessarily the eyes. It enables them to have an awareness of the surroundings despite their blindness. So it's kind of like goes back to the whole Daredevil thing. It's like this alternative sight that we probably couldn't really describe, but it gives them some sort of visual. And I'm sure it helps too if there are some blind people who had sight before. Maybe that makes this type of blind sight more intense.
Is it because like the eye that's not working, but parts of the eye still work? So it's like intaking like photons or something and pushing it through the brain, but it's kind of bypassing your visual processors. Is that, am I describing that right? Is that
I think that's part of it. Like, some of the mechanisms, the organic mechanisms are still working. I feel like there might be some sort of like memory attribute to it as well, especially like I said, for people who have had sight before. There's some sort of connection with the neurons there, and they can kind of formulate the visual, even though they're blind. So that's interesting, and then also goes. I touched on it, but it kind of goes into the whole not the idea, but the fact that when people go blind, like their other senses build up, especially hearing and touching.
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating. So
you ever try to see like with your eyes closed though, like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't want to open your eyes all the way or something because you still want to go to sleep, but then you like try to sense where the bed is or something?
Yeah,
do that, or is that just me?
I think I did that like as a kid and stuff, but
I'm a big kid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that. Like I'm pretty comfortable, like the knowledge of my space in the bedroom and then the house. Mainly, I always like it when, let's say I just turn the lights off and it's really dark outside, and so my vision is pitch black. I love it how when I know, like I have the memory of where everything is and I can navigate through that. So it's not like my eyes are closed, but my vision's cut off.
Sure, yeah.
I always find that fun. All right, I can navigate through this. And
yeah, but it's not like what this study is saying is like these people are doing it on like unknown areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a little bit different, obviously, and just fun to see if you can do it. I try to walk around sometimes, but I don't do it too much because my dogs are kind of large and they'll trip you up pretty good, and that would be a
they'd probably be like, what is he doing? Just like shuffling around. They probably think you're playing, and then they'll bump you, and then you'll fall down your steps to your demise.
I'll fall down the steps onto some knives and then actually be blinded.
Oh,
I keep knives on the bottom of my stairs.
This is ironic.
Ironic.
Oh, even more irony. But yeah, that's kind of there's like those 5 additional senses that people maybe didn't know about. I mean, some of it's kind of, when you look into them, it kind of makes sense. Mm-hmm. Going back to like colors, that's gonna be pretty cool if you're a doctor in that field and you've encountered some people who had some crazy visions and all that. So
what then, if you could pick from all of those and you could have one of them, which one would you want to have?
Oh, let's see. Well, first I would have to be ovulating. I'm just
Mhm.
kidding. No, I think
Snake detection would be handy.
it would be. I think even as cool it would be to see like a more vivid vision of colors. I think if you could smell people's personalities and their emotions like really well, I think that would be a very handy tool to have. Because some people are really good with their poker faces and their, but if you could smell it and be like, okay, this person is wants to kill me, but they're just acting like they're hanging out on the sidewalk.
You smell like a serial killer.
Yeah. I think that's the smart one to choose.
You smell like you're wearing Billy Rocket cologne. You must be a serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a callback to our first episode.
Anyone who wears that, they've got some issues. So you gotta be wary.
Especially as an adult, if you're still wearing Billy Rocket cologne, you might want to. Actually, I don't know. Maybe if I can find some, I'll dab some on, see what Evelyn says.
Everyone would be like, I smell loser. Just kidding.
She says that anyways. I don't know. Well, I think I would like to have seeing the extra colors just because I do art.
Yeah.
And I think that would be awesome just to see even more vividly. But then I guess it would be kind of lost because other people couldn't enjoy it. It's like, don't you see this amazing thing I made? How vibrant! They're like,
no, I don't.
It just looks normal to me.
That would be my second choice. I would say that'd be a hard choice to turn down. Especially now from what we see. If all of a sudden you can see more, that'd be pretty cool.
But if I had to choose another one, then I think snake detection. I would like that. I'll skip the ovulating part, but just detecting snakes would be cool.
Yeah. And if I was blind and I had the whole Daredevil sonar ability, that type of blind sight would be cool.
Now, have you ever tried doing the sonar stuff? Like, because they say you can kind of like learn to do it because like the people who are blind they'll send out like clicking noises or whatever, and it like bounces off, and they kind of like learn over time what the different, I guess, when it bounces back and they hear it, they can kind of sense like, oh, that's bouncing off of a wall or that's a couch type of thing. I think it's really hard to do and it takes a lot of time, and it's harder to do when you still have your vision. But I've heard of people. I try that sometimes when I walk around. I'll be like, see if I can pick up. I was like, nope, that's the table. I ran into it.
I've never tried that, but that reminds me, and let me know if you've experienced this before. Sometimes when I'm sleeping, and maybe this is dealing with falling asleep. If I hear something that startles me, like a noise, I feel like I'll see a wave of light. This doesn't happen all the time. Have you ever had something like that happen?
I don't normally get that. I'll hear like a sound maybe or something, but not not the flashes of light so much. But I've heard of that. I think it has a name, but I can't remember what it is.
Okay, so it's a scientific thing. I figured.
Yeah, but
it doesn't happen all the time. But like it has to be like a quick, large sound, loud sound, and that'll like startle me, and I'll see like a flash, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of weird. It's like lightning. Or it could be, lightning, kind of like what's in that movie Phenomenon.
With John Travolta.
John Travolta, and he saw lightning, and all of a sudden he had telekinetic abilities, but it was just cancer.
So. That's depressing.
It was a cool movie as a kid, but it was kind of a sad ending.
I don't think I've seen that one, but maybe I'll put it on the list. So, is it DJ time?
DJ time. Those are the 5 extra senses that
I
feel like most humans have that you did not know about.
Well, I like that. It was very interesting topics, and I learned some new stuff there, especially with your detecting of people. It's very interesting. Never heard of that. You know what we need to do? We need to get like DJ names for the episodes.
That's a good idea. I can brainstorm.
Maybe we should do like this episode. What would you DJ DJ 5 Touch.
Okay.
DJ
Sounds-
Touches.
Now it's getting creepy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you know, it's we'll see. Here's the song I got for us today. Oops. Hold on. I gotta unmute it.
That's our intro.
Yeah, we're professionals. Hold on. Here's the actual song.
Music notes, they paint the night. Every sound a shade of wonder. Blues and reds make my world bright. What do I do with my vibrating hands? All these feelings I can't understand. Touch the air like it's made of sound. Magic senses bring me round and round. Now speaks up the scent of laughter. Every joke a breath of fresh. Smell the tears of joy hereafter.
I feel like I need some drugs for this song.
Turn
Yeah.
the world into
It goes well with
memories.
the background visual that you have.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't endorse drugs.
I went through my EDM phase. I'm digging it.
All right, well that's that song there. We'll have more of that, I guess, on the C-Day party mix with the thing. So, all right. Well, with that, let's maybe wrap it up with a question I had. Then, Zane, we kind of touched on it in the beginning of the episode, but you know, what if you could lose 1 sense? You had to lose 1 sense.
Probably smell, even though it's kind of important. I like hearing, I like tasting, I like touching, I like seeing. Did I say that already?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the senses again. But I mean, at least, I mean, obviously, like smell, you can, like you said before, you can smell like some really bad decaying stuff. And maybe you don't want to drink the water that stuff is in. But I don't know. I feel like you could still operate pretty well with everything else.
Yeah, I think I would lose my sense of smell too, because you know, food too tasty. You know, that's just.
I mean, we all lost a little bit during COVID, so you know, we're being okay. We're okay. It's a new normal.
New normal is not smelling things, I guess.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, tell everybody where they can find us, Zane.
Yeah. So just on all the socials, Telltale Guys. You can do that for our tags. Then we're telltaleguys.com. Look us up on YouTube as well. YouTube is fun because you get all these visuals here and see us trying to cross our eyes while we're looking at a blue and yellow box. So
That's awesome.
Recommend that. But we're also on all the audio platforms as well.
All right. Well, that's all for this episode. You know what we do need? We do need a snazzy outro tag or something. Maybe we should test some out or something.
Do you have some?
No, I was just gonna free ball off the top of my head. Maybe
Oh, okay.
Like you know, like be your own miracle. That's kind of cheesy. I don't want to do that. That was in Bruce Almighty or something like that.
Yeah.
But maybe like keep on telling it. I don't know. But you got one? Yeah.
I'm thinking like something related to senses. So
Okay.
Be aware of your senses. I don't know. I have no. I'm not gonna.
Yes, I like that. Be aware of your senses. Telltale Guys out.
Okay. Bye.
Sink us our emotions, oh what a track. Deviated scepter makes life a snack. He walks around, things just ain't the same. Can't sniff the joy, can't smell the pain. Please no snake detection, that's for the girls. Stick to your instincts in our wild world. Josh sees true